Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another rant video, and this is going to be about Ezra Miller. I'm sure most of you are familiar with him. He's a famous actor who's also well known as the Flash. He's also been in the recent Marvel movie in Eternals, and on top of being very popular in the new Fantastic Beasts movie. So, besides that, rather than talk about his career, like in the past, we're going to talk about his future. So this man is a 29-year-old from New Jersey, but apparently it's kind of similar to the Brittany Griner situation because he's actually being held overseas, and apparently, but with this guy is that he has an issue with his anger. He can't seem to control his anger. So this is like apparently I don't know if he knows these people in Hawaii, but he had this encounter with this Hawaii couple. He was at a bar, he was drunk, apparently he's on drugs, because I'm guessing they were checking he was on whatever substance he's in that might have influenced him. So he was he was getting in a fight with the Hawaii couple, and he was causing a scene, and then it stems even worse later when all of a sudden he decides to stalk the couple, he threatens them, and then he actually robs them after the whole escapade or whatever you want to call it. And he does end up being taken into custody in Hawaii, so we don't know for sure when who will bail him out or whenever he'll come out. But what's weird, and on top of that, even the Hawaii couple has filed a restraining order on him. It's weird because apparently there's also some rumors that they tried to pay for his bail, which is weird because why would you want to bail somebody that's willing to do harm or eventually or might continue to hurt you in the future? Who just like how can you just this is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not somebody who's willing to quickly immediately forgive somebody just because they're human. Like, if I was in that situation, no way would I even consider wanting to give them bail, or no way would I even be willing to pay for their bail. Like, seriously, especially because you don't know, like, sure, maybe it's for him to redeem himself. Maybe they want him to he wants to be forgiven. Like, maybe it's to help him maybe move past this. But to be real, apparently from what I understand, like, this is not the first time Ezra Miller has had a violent encounter before, because there are even people from the studio saying that he has potential and that they can let him do whatever he wants, like, because he has so much to offer that, considering because he's playing a huge role, but he's not special. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, yeah, because now it's like you kind of figure why the Flash movie was delayed for next year. It was supposed to be held for 2022, now it's gonna be held for 2023, all because of him. And people were excited. I'm pretty sure there are people excited to see this movie, but like, in my opinion, at the same time, it would also be weird if someone were to replace him. It just doesn't feel fitting because it kind of takes away the character. Unless they were to do a separate Flash movie, a Flash from a different dimension, then maybe it would be reasonable. But it's like maybe they should cancel the movie. Maybe the movie should not even exist because of what he's doing. Because it's like I said before, like, there are actors that destroy the roles. Because I think there was a girl, let me provide an example. There was a girl from Black Panther. She happens to be the sister of T'Challa, and the female actor, I think, because she's an anti-mask person, she's an anti-masker, so she ended up getting fired, and now she can't be able to do the role of Black Panther's sister. I'm not gonna give her name. Pretty sure you all know. Look her up and check in Black Panther. But apparently that was the reason. Kindness, and she pretty much lost an opportunity. She lost an opportunity because of her own beliefs, because she was being too stubborn, just like this. But sure, she wasn't being violent. She wasn't aggressive. But it's like, but his is worse, to be honest. when you're that unstable, you can't control your emotions. You always feel like you have to have the last like word. You gotta get violent. You gotta be aggressive. Then that clearly shows that you are not stable to do the job. Because to be an actor, it will definitely affect your reputation depending how you react. And this is like I'm not, and to be real, I'm not even too much of a Flash fan. I think what makes him interesting is when he's in the Justice League films because overall, like, and people are probably going to hate me for what I'm about to say here, but I just don't think Flash, in my opinion, is a great fighter. He's fast, but physically he's not that strong. So that's where I see him being a lot weaker compared to a lot of superheroes. And being fast can be very helpful. It's kind of like very like, but the thing with Sonic is that he can get power ups. He can power himself up with the rings. He can like he's pretty much a mutant though. Not even a mutant. He's an alien. So he's supposed to be like a character that is just beyond human, who has supernatural powers. So with Flash, yes, he has superpowers, but it did not only sure it makes him faster, but let's be real, it does not enhance his physical strength. So that's where I see the difference. That's why, even though I'm going a little off topic, I'm just explaining why I wouldn't even care less. Why I would care less to even see the movie unless we know who the villain is. Maybe it'll be worth watching. Just like how Morbius failed. I personally don't think it was a great movie. Considering the reviews, I didn't even have to watch it, so I didn't have to watch the movie. But just hearing from the reviews, people were not willing to pay just to sit down and see Morbius. So simply because maybe it was most likely lackluster. It was just Marvel desperate to make another film, so they can keep increasing their momentum, get more money. But with Ezra Miller, we don't know. Kind of similar to the Brittany Griner situation. Like I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but whatever. Again, let's just hope someone does bail him, and they're willing to. Because I'm from what I understand, there are people who are most expected to see the Flash movie, even though I don't care that much. Like I'm not a DC fan. I'm not too much of a DC fan. I'm the only DC fan. DC, the only DC character that I'm a fan of is most likely Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, um, the Martian Manhunter. Not too much Green Lantern. Personally, those four. I'll be honest with you guys. So be real, those are like my favorite four. Compared to the Flash, I just felt like especially when I was a young kid, I saw the Flash in the animations. Like it did not like he was boring. He was fast, but I personally feel like he did not have he wasn't like physically strong. So that's where I kind of see him a lot of but yeah, he's very fast. But I feel like personally he could not be able to do enough damage or do enough like be too much of a threat when going hand to hand with his opponent. Yeah, maybe you could say his speed, consider how fast it can make his fists, his punches a lot stronger, a lot more quicker, a lot more agile. But on top of that, you also have to consider that there are enemies, there are supervillains that are like very physical, that have a lot of endurance, that can resist punches. So that's where I feel like even if whether he's to have the movie, it all depends on the supervillain reviews. Like I wouldn't really care to be honest. But he brought it upon himself. Let's be real. He has to realize he needs to think why he's even overseas in the first place. He needs to realize he has nobody but to blame but himself. And then maybe like when he thinks about it on the way out, he can kind of reconsider and realize I have to change my attitude. I'm going to become more calm, humble, because I don't want to damage my reputation even further. So it's best I don't, even though if I'm not, whether I'm doing it for the audience or the fans, I want to be sure I can be able to keep my position as a famous actor, and then hopefully one day I'll be able to either succeed or exceed other actors, where at least I can see myself in the bigger picture. So that's where I feel like that's where he's gonna have to come to terms and realize that his anger does not come first, and that his reputation is more important, and that he can be able to provide for himself, and that he is willing to show that he does have self-control. But judging from where he is in Hawaii, that all depends whenever he's let out if he really has changed. But I'm not the one to decide for him. Again, it's his own life. He's gonna have to figure it out himself, whether he needs help or whoever would be there to guide him. Maybe that's who he's gonna have to look for. But his entire future lies beyond him. So he has to figure that out himself and think about the repercussions. Whereas it's not, considering the amount of trouble I've been getting into, it's not worth it. Do I really want to put myself in the even more dire and more serious situation where someone might eventually come after me, they might hurt me, and then I might eventually become disabled? And again, those are the things you want to avoid. And again, whether, because when I do mean by like avoid, this could have obviously 100% affect the Flash movie, and that's something that might be avoided. Like what I mean avoid, like could potentially cancel the film, or they may realize they're gonna find someone else to do the role, which kind of similar to the like for example the Batman movie that was recently released. They're probably going to do another Batman movie, like another Batman movie, or just like if they were to do a new Flash movie, because this is going to be the Spirit is the first Flash movie for live action. They're going to probably possibly have to do a Flash movie, but from a different universe, like I said before. Someone who's actually just as is either more fitting or just as fitting. And so they want to kind of find a way to get the ratings going, get the views, be sure not to disappoint the fans, the audience, and it all comes down to this guy, Ezra Miller. So it all depends if he's able to redeem himself, whether he'll be able to continue doing the role, or or the studio, like DC, might as well go for quits and find someone else to take his place. And whether the movie does succeed, that's not really my concern. That's not really none of my business. But again, there could be changes. But like I said, personally, again, sometimes changing the actors, like I said, kind of makes the movie look a lot less interesting. It kind of takes away the consistency, and it feels like then it starts to lack perspective. What I mean lack perspective is that it just doesn't feel worth it now, because it doesn't feel the same without without the original actor. And the only way possibly they could excuse this, their claim is that this is most likely a Flash from another universe, and they're trying to go to find another aspect where somebody besides Ezra Miller can do Flash, and this Flash is most likely going to be more unique in terms of his strength, his speed, and can possibly do better, and kind of similar to like the recent, like the newest younger Spider-Man, which from Homecoming, which I'm pretty sure you're aware. Again, like it all depends what goes down, and doesn't really matter. And these are my final thoughts. And again, hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you guys be able to check for more upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check your notifications, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.